Hey, y'all, it's Letitia with Lighten Up with Letitia, and we're here also with our buddy Sugarfoot. Say hi. You gonna say hi to the people? Well, as you come in, don't forget to like, share, comment, and of course, don't forget to subscribe. But we're here for our weekly recap of The Family Business Season 6. This is episode 4, and it is entitled More Than Meets the Eye. So here we are in a fast car. Vegas and Kendra are speeding in the streets, fleeing the scene that they just left where Dominique got blasted on. And Kendra is furious, okay, asking who those people were and what was going on. Now, meanwhile, at the mansion, Roman is about to leave when he is approached by Orlando. Now, first of all, Roman had an attitude a little bit because he was like, listen, basically, like, you ain't talked to me this whole time. Like, basically, what do you want? And Orlando was like, okay, but before I go to the hospital. So Roman was kind enough to say, oh, yeah, how is little man doing? First of all, he asked about your son. He cares about him. And two, he had enough respect for your son to call him little man, which is what you call him, Orlando. But of course, that wasn't enough because here's Orlando talking about a few of the family members thinks that a DNA test is in order. And Roman just straight up refuses. He's like, he didn't ask for this. And he was like, well, I didn't see you, I don't see you trying to give the car back or leaving. But the truth is he did leave. You saw him leave. You let him leave. And guess what else? Family came back to come and get him. Anyway, so Orlando's like, it's simple. And Roman was like, get out of my face. Now, in my opinion, child, he's like, I'm trying to be nice. This is Orlando talking. That would have been our first sibling scuffle right there in the foyer. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, he was like, he's not doing it. He didn't ask to be here. Rio came looking for him. And he says he regrets being found, especially if that means that he's going to be related to Orlando. Because, Orlando's been nothing but nasty towards him. So he refuses again, tells him to get up out of his face. And he was like, he's done. He's yelling at this point. He's done. I'm done with you. Done with this. He's done with this whole family. And Uncle LC comes running down the steps, hearing the ruckus, wondering what is going on. So he's like, ask your real son. And so he told him about the DNA test. Roman storms off. And Uncle LC had to get in Orlando's behind. Child. Now my question is, he ran off. I'm like, did he take his Roman vehicle? Or is he going to be getting another Uber? Okay. Anyway, so Uncle LC questions Orlando. And Orlando was stating that Chippy, his mom, is being irrational and emotional and everything. And you always backing her up. He was like, first of all, I told you to drop it. Your mother and I told you to drop it. Second of all, you have a short memory. Because remember when you brought your son here, we didn't ask for proof when we knew that his mama was working at that Hellfire Club. But we didn't tell you needed proof. You said that was your son, so we was like, okay, that's your son, he family, and that's all that we needed. And I want you to give me the same respect. He was like, now Roman is my son, and you better remember that. And if you make us lose him, I will never forgive you. Now, Orlando tried to protest, and Uncle LC was like,
not another word, not afraid, not so. Hey, shut up.
Now, in all fairness, I do think that a DNA test is needed to calm everybody's nerves, including Roman's, but that is just not the way to do it. Meanwhile, Junior and Sonia are getting it on when Donna comes banging at their door, and Donna told Junior that Dominique had been shot and doesn't think that she's going to make it. Now, they came up with this is Donna telling Junior, saying that they came up with some elaborate scheme to capture Vegas. He was like, why would they try to capture Vegas without talking to me first? Why are they undermining me? She blames the whole thing on Dominique, Antonio, and the senator and says she didn't have anything to do with it. Girl. Anyway, he said, well, yeah, I need to talk to Orlando. And she was like, well, leave my name out of it. He was like, well, why would your name come up if you didn't have nothing to do with it? Now you're thinking, Junior, your mama, she ain't on the up and up. So, and of course, Sonia is listening from the bathroom. Now, Vegas takes Kendra home and he apologizes to her. And so she was like, no, you need to tell me what happened. He said, okay, I will explain everything, but let me call my parents, let them know that everything's okay. So she goes inside while he goes to call his parents. So meanwhile, Uncle LC is telling Aunt Chippy about the fact what happened just transpired between Orlando and Roman. And then they get the call from Vegas, who explained that the Alliance tried to take him out tonight. He said that Junior wasn't there. It was just a bunch of Alliance flunkies, but that a sniper took out Dominique. Now, he said he's going to be staying in Queens tonight, and he wasn't alone when he was out there with the sniper. Now we get a new character. There's an Officer Thomas here who walks into a crime scene when he gets a call from Kendra. Now, she tells him about the attempt on her life tonight because she believes that bullet that got Dominique was actually meant for her. So she's like, we already know who this is. And I thought I left things in the past. This is Kendra talking. And so he said, well, you knew it wouldn't be easy to leave. So maybe Kendra is not an op. But what she's in fact is she's running from something or someone. Now, Vegas rings the doorbell, explains that he has enemies, that he had been in prison for the last few years, and he was framed by some really powerful people, stating that sometimes protecting the people you love the most comes at a price, and we already know what that's about. He was covering for his own daddy. Now, he apologizes and he vows to her that he was never going to let anyone hurt her. They begin to kiss, and then they take it to the bedroom. Now, at the hospital, Orlando is sitting with Little Man as he's in the bed, and he tries to call Ruby again. It keeps going to voicemail, but he mentions that it's been 5 days since they talked last. So I'm like, Lord, where is Ruby? Do they have her? Lord have mercy. Did Antonio get to her? I don't know, but she didn't answer. He called Vegas. Vegas didn't answer. So he calls Nevada and says, hey, you need to come and scoop me and bring your computer because we got somewhere to go. Next thing you know, they were at Kendra's door ringing the doorbell. She answers, was like, can I help you? He said, yeah, we're looking for Vegas. Next thing you know, Vegas came around with his blicky like, okay, that's my brother. You know, it's all good and everything. So they were looking like, okay, Vegas, you know, coming to the door with the afterglow, both of y'all. Anyway, so Orlando explained that he had gotten a call last night and Vegas did not come home. So they had to come and find him. So we see that you're fine. So we out. But he was like, no, we got some business to take care of, me and you, Orlando. So, yeah, give me 10. I'll be out. Meanwhile, Paris and Rio are chilling on a boat, still spying on Bobby. And at Bobby's house, Cornelius is knocking on Bobby's door. He's telling him to just go away. So he comes into the room where we see Bobby eating Cheetos and scratching his ass, child. Lord, he's like, you are already 40 minutes late for your workout. He's like, I ain't going. I'm tired. I'm not going, whatever. He is depressed about losing Karen, okay? He was like, F that practice. Cornelius was like, boy, we got $100 million riding on this. Now, you gonna need to get yourself together. Bobby is refusing. Cornelius is scolding him. He said, you don't let no females get in the way of your money. But Bobby was like, but I love her and I want her back. So he was like, look, this fight is about your legacy. You need to get yourself together. You need to get your butt up. And if you really want your woman that bad, I will help you get your woman back. She will be back here tonight. So Bobby finally does get up. And then the whole time, Rio and Paris is watching the whole thing, laughing and giving a cheers to the plan. Because you know Paris has a plan for Bobby, child. She's trying to take down his whole life. Okay, so then later we see Darnell pulls up to Karen, who's having lunch at a cafe, and he apologizes to her, saying that he had a shorty at the house the other night and it was in their bed. That's the reason why she found them red panties. Now, she don't believe him at first, which she shouldn't because he's lying. But anyway, but he showed her some old nasty photos of him and that girl, supposedly. And he promised that he'd make it up to her, begged her to come back, and she demanded a new bed. Now, he paid for her lunch and he went on to leave. Went to meet Cornelius, his cousin, who was waiting for him. And Darnell tells him that the plan worked like a charm. So Cornelius gave him some money for his good deed. And then he cussed when Darnell told him that Karen said she wanted a whole new bed. And of course, Bobby the Beast boy goes in style, baby. His bed is custom made. It costs $15,000. And of course, imported from overseas. Child. Now, Sonia went to the mosque to go see Brother Elijah and to pay her respects, as well as asked to see him in private. He was like, it's noble for you to plead for your husband, but he won't be spared. And she was like, I didn't come to plead. I came to reason with you. He said, so before, when you were fleeing Charles and I caught up with you, you said you'd rather die than live without Junior. She said, yes. And I still feel that way. That's still the case. And he was like, well, that's unfortunate because Brother Minister's death must be avenged. Thank you for paying your respects and my condolences to you on the loss that you will endure. And then he left her there crying. Child. Back at the hospital, Junior runs in looking for Dominique LaRue's room, and the nurse had to inform him along with the doctor that she did not make it, y'all. She's gone. So he called Antonio and left a voicemail giving condolences and said, we need to talk. Now at the mosque, Brother Elijah said it must be Duncan Day because Vegas and Orlando show up next. They came to thank him for sparing Vegas's life last night by taking out Dominique LaRue. And he was like, well, while this is good news, since we know that Dominique was part of the assassination team for Brother Minister, he was like, I can't take credit for that. I didn't know anything about it. This is the first I heard of it. So he said, but this goes a long way in evening the score, but the jury is still out on your brother. Now, Orlando said peace and Vegas just left out. He was done talking. He just, you don't be giving a damn. Anyway, on the way out, they passed that brother that was watching Junior at the speakeasy. I remember him. Now, Orlando doesn't have a good feeling about this. And he says, if Elijah didn't unalive Dominique, then who did? And Vegas was also wondering, how did the Alliance know that he would be at Big Mama's in Harlem? Now, that's my question as well. Now, Billy Bob and the senator are outside in the car, and he says that he doesn't think that Dominique is going to make it. Now, the senator was like, that's unfortunate, but what does that have to do with Vegas Duncan? He really don't care about that money because Dominique had his whole $10 million, child. Anyway, Billy Bob admitted that Vegas got away, and worse than that, Vegas saw all of them, and so he knows that they're after him, and that if Vegas knows, that means LC Duncan also knows. So the senator yokes him up and says, well, if we can't get him, we can't get Vegas, then we'll have to settle for another one of his sons. Even if it's the one on our side, he's a weak ass anyway. He talking about Junior like this. See, this is precisely why you don't get in bed with the enemies. Just because y'all have a common enemy does not truly make them your friends. And of course, so here they are getting ready to turn on him. So he told Billy Bob to set it up so that he can get his revenge on LC Duncan. Now at Club Oasis, which we know is Rio's club, we see Bobby and Karen back there. They're back together and they're dancing. And I'm thinking, like, Bobby, you don't realize this is Rio's club? Paris's brother? Anyway, I guess not. Darnell runs in talking about they are towing Bobby's Lamborghini, child. Now, the Alliance is at the table, and Antonio is overheard saying, fine, we'll have to just take out the whole mosque. I was like, first of all, y'all meeting again without Junior? And second of all, you know what army is going to take out the whole mosque? Child, the Brotherhood, you don't want that smoke from the Brotherhood. Anyway, Antonio did not even answer the call when Junior called, but he's sitting here at the table meeting with the rest of them. So Junior and Donna walk in, and Antonio only acknowledges Donna, saying that they've been planning their next move. And Junior was like, how are you doing that if I'm the leader of the Alliance? Y'all keep forgetting. I was like, no, they ain't forgotten. They just been playing in your face this whole time. They ain't never looked at you as the leader. But moving on. Antonio said Dominique is dead and this is war. And Junior was like, well, why didn't I know about this plan that y'all had to try and get Vegas that caused her to be unalive. Alexander was like, that was all your mama's doing. That was her decision. So here go Donna, him and Han talking about some, well, we just thought, I thought that since this was about your brother, it would just be best to keep you out of it. And he was like, next time, keep your feelings to yourself, because this is business. And she sat her little self down, okay? Now, Junior, I hope you see that your mama is a straight up liar, okay? And she is not on your side. Anyway, Antonio says that the Duncans must pay for Dominique. But Junior questions whether or not this has anything to do with the Duncans. And Billy Bob was like, well, we need to deliver on that promise that we have for the senator to give Vegas to the senator, right? And Aries is like, well, we have an easy plan with heavy artillery to just storm the Duncan compound, grab Vegas, and be home by dinner. And Junior just started laughing in his face. He said, child, first of all, that's a stupid plan. Second of all, the Duncans have quadrupled their security as of lately, and nobody in this room except me and Alejandro know what street war is like. So I don't know what you think you're doing. My daddy, LC, is the best at this stuff, and the only way you can beat him is not with blickies, but with brains. So he goes around the room. He's like, I know you want revenge for Dominique, and I know you want to get Vegas, but let me handle it. I'm the one in charge. He leaves them speechless and he walks out, and Donna follows him. Antonio's man then whispers something in his ear. He says, salud, and then the meeting is adjourned, child. Back at the club, Karen is dancing the night away when Bobby comes to say that they need to leave because they towed his car. Now she begs to stay, and he finally agrees, and he ordered another round for her. Meanwhile, Paris is at the bar, distracts the bartender while she puts something in the drink that is delivered to Karen. Then Paris sees her falling out, and Paris carries her out. Now, Vegas shows up with groceries to cook at Kendra's house to make up for their failed date at Big Mama's. But she says she has an appetite for something else, and they go to bed. And the next morning, he's in bliss. He excitedly gets up to make breakfast. He calls Orlando, and he's looking for a spatula in the drawer where he comes across Kendra's police badge. He told Orlando he'd call him back. And that's the end of the episode. So if you made it this far, I do appreciate you. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to join us on Sunday evenings for the live panel discussion of the newest episode of The Family Business. And until next time, holla.